Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. It is now episode 45. It's your boy HSR.
Yo, what up, guys? It's Chris Chrome.
And why don't you introduce the album that we are talking about tonight?
You don't seem happy to talk about it, dude.
We'll get into it, I promise.
Well, guys, this week, we decided to go with Macklemore's new album, Gemini.
And I want to emphasize that Ryan Lewis does not appear to be involved in this project in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was in 2015 or 2016 they went their separate ways due to like XYZ. They'd basically been together all the time for like 7 years, needed a hiatus of sorts, promised they'd be back. And then, honestly, Macklemore started dropping these singles like Drug Dealer and stuff, and I was like, yo, this is not as good. It really is not as good. And then,
it's not the same that we kind of got
and
introduced
then, like,
to.
you go check out something like Praying or Prayer by Kesha, which is produced by Ryan Lewis, and it's like banger of bangers. And we start to realize, wait a second, without Ryan Lewis, Macklemore might not be quite as interesting of an artist. And when Glorious dropped as a single, my girlfriend fucking loved the song. Next level admiration. She was like, fucking, and I'm like, this is so fluffy crap, I don't like it. Like, the video is such a cheap grab for views and stuff. Anyway, we'll talk about it when we get there. And honestly, I wasn't hyped, but let's talk about older Macklemore. See, oh, by the way, if you don't give a shit about any of this, hit the show more and skip ahead, and you can, like, jump to the review part and holla at us and whatnot and whatever. Sorry about that. Forgot. And anyway, so appreciate y'all watching too. Wanted to say that we like you folks. Feel free to comment, even if it's long. Educate us or correct us. You know, we're down for the community side of this as well.
Yes, we are.
But yo, so anyway, I got into Macklemore, I suppose, somewhere around when Thrift Shop popped. I discovered who he was.
That's when everybody got into Macklemore, actually.
Not true. Bonnie actually knew Macklemore prior to that because
really?
she had heard some of the older stuff. Like the Shall We Dance or whatever prior, and anyway, because he had like a certain vibe going, and then I bumped a whole bunch of his stuff. For real, The Heist is a beautiful album, and honestly, it might even be worth reviewing on the Classic Quest, which is coming back. It's not dead. We'll explain later, and so like it was dope, and I really liked The Heist. I didn't like every song, but like I liked most of the album, and I thought Macklemore was extremely talented, and let's be real, it was like a different kind of white guy rap. I kind of related to him more. I'm not trying to like whatever. It's just Macklemore wrote about stuff that was easier to digest for me than the gangsterism. Especially when he popped, I was a lot more ignorant and maybe a little more closed-minded about songwriting and hip-hop in general. So I really jumped on him. And then his scandal with Kendrick came out and all sorts of other stuff. And the second album dropped, and you know what? There were a couple of songs I really liked on that second album, but I hated Downtown as an example. I thought it was bad. Again, Bonnie loves Downtown.
But I think it's because it's really mainstream.
I think it has no purpose. It's just the fluffiest
it's just
freaking...
a radio jam.
It's just fluff. It's just like fucking fluffity fluff. And then, but I really liked White Privilege too, as an example. I really liked the song with KRS-One. I really liked the song with Idris Eldred on it. Like, there were some really good... But you could see almost, like, a quality dip. Like, Macklemore wasn't necessarily willing to be as bold with his statements. Like, even if he was maybe not as right or wrong, depending on your opinion of his earlier work, he was, like... He had statements. Like, his, like, rehab songs and stuff were incredible. And then, like... The second album was a little fluffier, and then, I don't know, nothing really until this moment. So I can tell you I did not have high expectations for this album going into it.
Fair enough. Neither did I. I never really hopped onto the Macklemore bandwagon. Is it Macklemore or Macklemore? Or...
It's Macklemore.
Whatever.
Like Macklemore.
Macklemore. Okay, cool. I never really hopped onto that bandwagon. I like Thrift Shop. Probably a couple months after
Thrift Shop's sick, though.
It is a dope track. Never really followed him after that, and then he came out with this, and I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah, Soda Streams. I'm doing Old Fashioned Lemonade.
Root beer, I think.
Yeah, you took root beer.
Root beer. There we go.
Anyway.
But no, realistic. Like, I just never followed Macklemore, and now he came out with this, and I was just like, okay. The last I heard was Thrift Shop. I thought he was more of like a realistic. Not realistic because I'm not.
Let's say it's conscientious.
There we go.
And then that's what you were going for.
More away from like the typical stereotypical rap music that everybody thinks is.
I don't know. And then, the album's called Gemini, and on the front you see Macklemore kind of standing. There's a car behind him, I believe. And
Makes it look small.
Yeah, and it's just kind of whatever. It
He's
doesn't.
a Gemini.
Well, I guess that, and then I guess it's got the duplicative side of his character, because I think that's the thing about Geminis is the twins, and so it made me just be like, okay, I guess he's trying to explore his personality a little bit. And honestly, I felt like the album cover was so underwhelming compared to his previous two. Like it kind of lacked a certain degree of finesse. And I admit that this is not Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. It's just Macklemore, but still,
right?
He's the rapper I came there, and it's worth. I guess we'll talk about it a bit along the way, but it's almost worth noting. Like Ryan Lewis seems to be doing really freaking well for himself, and Macklemore, as we'll come to see, like I don't know. It just there's something like even in the album cover, something wasn't there that drew me to it. The way the preview, even the red vibrancy of the second album, I can't remember the name of it, but the second album drew me in, and I had to like listen to it. This one, it's like I just figured I was curious. I saw Macklemore came out this week, and it
sort of made sense. Like it was like okay, he's the next best thing.
But it was like when I saw the cover and I was like, my excitement fizzled almost immediately. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like, wow, that guy, I want to go listen to him. It was like, it's kind of like a lame Yellow Wolfy look going on, you know?
But
anyway,
Yellow Wolf.
I don't mean to sound like a hater. I genuinely don't understand the direction Macklemore has taken for his music.
You know what I found? I got a little bit of like a retro feel. I felt like he's trying to do this whole throwback type vibe. Even throughout the album, and we'll discuss that. But there's this whole like retro feel to it.
Anyway, let's get into it, I guess. So, Ain't Gonna Die Tonight is how we start the album off.
State season got a marinate. If I happen to die tonight.
Yo, I am already unimpressed.
Okay, how do you feel?
So, Eric Nelly is an extremely talented singer and really does, I guess, well, but yo, it was just he in the same way that on Downtown, I think he was the guy from Downtown. He was so overbearing, and it kind of was like so over the top, and it was just like trying so hard. I felt like that happened here. Talented singer, but on the beat, it didn't really fit so well.
It clashed more than mesh.
And then the beat itself, it kind of felt like we're trying to recapture like a Can't Hold Us or one of those other upbeat.
We Will Rock You. I got a We Will Rock You.
Well, I was just thinking
sound.
of more like older Macklemore, even. I was staying within himself, and kind of like he knows that these certain types of the effects on the drums,
right,
the heavy
right.
pop, like this is those radio jams that made moms clap their hands and stuff. All right, and it kind of just feels like he's trying to recapture. Like it's almost like I feel like this was marketing driven more than artistically driven. Like when he wrote Can't Hold Us, you could tell it was an anthem. And this is still trying to be an anthem, but then like he starts rapping and stuff, and
it's I've heard this before. That's where I have a problem with this. I feel like I've heard this type of track before where
fair.
The embodiment of the stage and the performance is so mighty that.
But doesn't it just sound kind of soft?
Yes.
Like he just sounds like the softest, fluffiest guy here. Now, like earlier today, we were talking about the Killers in the other show we were recording, and I kind of called them fluffy, but they are not fluffy like Macklemore. So, like this song is literally like, "Hey, look, I'm so cool. I can go perform to people, and you know what? My dreams are great, and I can accomplish." And it's honestly like he wrote the anthem for him to get himself excited to go perform at the next show.
The rest of the album.
And like, I guess my issue comes down to it is, I don't really care to hear this song. Like the subject matter is effectively boring. Like Macklemore is proud of himself. I guess that's the theme here.
Well, he's also explaining like where he how he had a little bit of hard times and hardships. So it's a typical hip hop song in terms of like explaining your experiences and like the grind.
Part of what made me love Macklemore was the ridiculous flows. It's the INDEP, crazy fun and diverse. And this was like like lazy almost comparatively, and like
a little slower,
static. Like it didn't change up a lot. Like he honestly just doesn't have the same. It didn't have the same flair. And I know it's on this album a bit, but like I like the fact that he was tricky. It was like I got into Tech Nine and Macklemore had that kind of trickiness around the same time, so it was like relatable. And here we're seeing him kind of delve into more of a pop, fluffier, more digestible sound, and I was super disappointed by that. So I gave this a 3. I found it to be freaking boring. I was like, you don't understand. I was complaining in Facebook Messenger early in the day, like, this is boring. Oh boy, I'm on the first song and I wasn't happy. And like, I mean, okay, I know that maybe with the other 15 to come, it could have got better, but still, this is a terrible opener. It doesn't really pump me up for the album. It just kind of made me go, uh-oh. So 3 out of 5. It's not really bad. It's just bland. It's like frozen French fries without salt on them or anything. No ketchup. Just cooked frozen French fries. I mean, sure, they've got their potatoey fluffy,
but it's still frozen.
But you need some flavor, you know? Anyway, go on.
We'll get to that. I actually gave it a 3.5. I didn't think... It wasn't great. It was, like I said, similar. I've heard it before. It was nothing new, really. I felt like Macklemore was redefining himself or kind of like reproving himself to the game. Like, oh, guys, I'm still here, blah, 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 doing this type stuff, which I just felt like you could have done it differently.
And like your last album was 2 years ago. It's not like you were completely forgotten.
You know? Other than that, it's just not a strong song, really. I didn't feel... The beat was very static. It didn't change. It reminded me of We Will Rock You. I had that repetitive...
And what a ridiculous, like, sound to a song called Ain't Gonna Die Tonight. Like, there was no urgency.
No. There's a lot, like... That, like... heavy, raw, I guess Eric Nelly was trying to do it.
Yeah, but like there was no urgency. Like we're talking about death. Like, why were you gonna die? You're just doing another show.
He's not talking about death, like dying. He's talking about not dying.
I get that.
But like the most dramatic, like I get lyrically.
But like given what the song ended up being about, it's pretty anti-freaking climatic.
Fair enough. So 3.5 from mine.
So what I'm trying to say is that first track was not glorious.
Oh, this is gonna be a bad pun episode.
Glorious, glorious. I'm feeling glorious.
This is the same song.
Yep.
But just like more about life accomplishments,
Softer.
His legacy.
Yep.
Okay. I gotta say, the first time I saw the music video, I was hypercritical and I made fun of it. I was like,
why? It's his grandma.
I know. I watched it a second time
asshole.
and I got all sensitive, and then I went back to being hypercritical.
Why?
Well, I feel like, on the one hand, and you guys can disagree with me here on YouTube. This is just my feelings here, and we've actually had a comparable conversation. But, like, it almost feels like he's exploiting his grandma's 100th birthday to look like a sweet and fluffy, nice guy, friendly, so that my mom is going to go watch that music video and wish that one day I'll get famous and do that for her.
I agree.
And so there's a certain degree of marketing that's so shameless in this kind of a video, considering the song's just about him being freaking famous. And I'm like...
It's not about him being famous.
And I like Skylar Grey. I really like Skylar Grey.
I agree.
But her performance here was bland because the song was bland. Again, we're fries with no salt. I mean, let's say instead of it literally being about a performance, it's more about his legacy and how he wants to go out a certain way and how his grandma... You know what? He's right. He's got grandma-safe bars. Like, he said it in the song. And maybe I'm just not the right demographic for Macklemore anymore. Like, I thought that being a 29-year-old, like, politically charged person... that was the kind of guy that Macklemore would appeal to. So I feel a little bit at this point like dude's done a whole bait and switch on me. It's solving his prerogative. Like, again, it's not bad rap, but it's like there's very little talent here. He does get a more hyped up flow, but this is just Can't Hold Us Part 3 because Can't Hold Us Part 2 is the freaking track before it. And I'm like, what on earth is this? Like, I'm sorry, like internet folk who really freaking like this. And I'm not trying to be, like, mean about it, but when did Macklemore get this soft? Like, he was not this soft on The Heist. I don't understand what happened. Even Same Love was harsher than this.
I think what happened was that there was, like, and I'm not trying to say Ryan Lewis, is what's missing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, fine. But I feel that he's more on his own and he's doing what is meaning to him, like more deeper. Even if it sounds odd, even if it sounds soft, weird, I kind of get like the whole
but
glorious
like,
song. It's not about him being rich. It's just about him.
So
being
far,
unique.
we're like 2 tracks in, and these tracks don't really have a message. There's no soul. Fair. There's no purpose. This is the dude that really started my journey to check my freaking privilege and stuff as a white person. And now I'm hearing him write a song about like nothing with a fluffy video with his grandma. And I'm like, okay, you're cute now. But that's the kind of stuff Taylor Swift and people are doing. And it's, I guess, confusing to me. I feel like the beat isn't exceptional. It's really fluffy pop. The melodies are safe. The rhyming is safe. 3 on 5. I don't really like it, but I can't really call it bad. It's just whatever.
It's radio music. I put it 3 on 5 as well. It's something that you can listen to while you're cleaning, while you're just trying to listen to aimless music. Something you'll listen to, and then maybe it'll play in a club, maybe, but it's not strong enough to really be the second track.
Yeah, and then, honestly, here's where I got, like, blown away. Because, the next one's Marmalade. We'll get there.
Okay, so, first of all, did you see the music video?
Yeah.
Why are they kids?
That was the best part of the song.
Really?
That was a great video. I think it was fun. I think it really fit the song. I mean, those kids got to drive around in a fancy-ass car. And whereas to, like, milk your grandma's 100th birthday for a marketing stunt seems a little whack to me, the way he did it. Maybe other people liked it, sure, fine. This is, like, he gave some kids the opportunity of a lifetime pretending to be him and Lil Yachty rapping along. And honestly, they look cute. And then the fact that Macklemore and Lil Yachty appear in the video almost as cameos was really fucking fun. And I love the video, watching them. It was great. But then, like, there's the whole part where this is on a Macklemore album.
This sounds like the weaker version to Broccoli.
This sounds like the weaker version to Downtown from his previous
Downtown
album.
met Broccoli.
And look, Lil Yachty doesn't do a bad job here. I want to put it out there.
Yes,
and honestly, he does not do a bad job.
He goes all over the place. I feel
I
like
don't agree. Macklemore went all over the place. There was no difference. They did the same thing. Basically, what I'm noticing here is Macklemore saw that Lil Yachty is like the kind of guy who's owning dance music. Now, keep in mind, Macklemore has always been the type of an artist to want to make dance music, right? So he is a rapper, but like he cares about this side of the culture. Mm-hmm. And I guess that he just wanted, because this sounds like it could have been on the Lil Yachty album.
Yep.
In terms of the beat. And I guess he wanted to make like one of these songs, and then he didn't auto-tune himself that much, thankfully. But he came in and he rapped the same way that Uzi was in terms of content and style. Like, it was like he was trying to do their thing for a minute. And then Yachty just came in and did his normal Yachty thing.
Well,
or his little boat
thing.
Whatever. Yachty boat. I mean, for the sake of this conversation, he was just himself doing a normal verse. And like I was thinking, and it really would have fit on the Lil Yachty album. And it was whatever. So, and if I were real drunk and I was out and about, I'd probably really just be like, and I'd probably really vibe to it or whatever. But like,
I get you.
This song isn't. This is Macklemore. Like, I'm gonna say that a lot, people. And if you don't like it, I apologize. But this is Macklemore. What the hell?
He's living in a happier mood, but it's not working. I liked it better.
This song is what, about cruising around town in a freaking car, flossing?
Yep. This is instead of on mopeds and on scooters, they're in cars.
It's like, yeah, I guess you're independent, but congratulations, you just became a mainstream rap artist. Like, I don't get it. There's no soul to this song. It's just
a day out there on the streets.
And I get
That's
it.
all it is.
I bet the haters to my idea are going to basically say it's just fun, it's just fluffy. And I get Macklemore has that side, but even to that end, there's not a lot of talent or finesse to it. 3.5, because there is that fun to it and there is a little more life to it compared to it. But honestly, even Yachty almost is like, they're about the same, and that's weird to say that Yachty and Macklemore performed about the same on this song.
I don't like the fact that there was no actual context to either of their verses. I like the flow. It was the catchy newer type flow with the newer type Lil Yachty beat. That was dope. I didn't really get. I understood the kid part because of the background beat, so that was okay for the video.
Whatever.
But realistically, I didn't see no relevancy in calling out Donald Trump or the cops on Yachty's verse. I didn't see no relevancy in just going all over the place. There's so much they could have done with this lyrically and just like how they did it that I didn't feel it was as strong. So
You know what? I agree with what you're saying, dude.
3.5 on 5.
All right, I want to make one more observation that's both about this song, the previous two songs, and the one we're about to talk about. They're 2-verse songs. Every song so far has been 2 verses with like a chorus.
Yep.
And maybe a little... No, I don't even think we've had a real... No, and a bridge part. What the hell? Song formatting. Used to be versatile. What's going on here? It's almost like we received some golden tickets and we're off to see Willy Wonka. Offset.
Willy Wonka live on acres. Willy Wonka got a lot of paper. Golden ticket put you.
Flavor got flavor, 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 got flavor. What the fuck is this shit?
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. There is different podcasts where you've been like, I get the repetition. It makes sense.
It didn't. It sounded shit here.
This is the same shit that like Lil Yachty would do on his album or Uzi or any other of the fucking
But what I'm trying to say is, this song is Macklemore starting to prove he's nothing more than he's a freaking trend hopper here.
Fine, I'll give you that.
And like really, the first half of Offset's chorus was surprisingly hype. Like Willy Wonka got acres, and I'm like, okay, I can feel that. Cause forget Macklemore's verses. It was trash.
Are you serious? I liked his verse.
It was just flossingly, cockily, arrogantly, freaking fluffy ass.
He's been saying the last 4
like
tracks.
This could have been a little
the
freaking.
Flow. Guys, check out the flow. The flow
it was a Migos-y flow.
No, he went on like double time and he went off after when he's talking about his daughter.
But he kind of went off like hugga bugga 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 bugga. That's not really impressive for Macklemore.
Flow, so
but it's not like it's weak for Macklemore is what I'm trying to say. I'm not impressed so far. So it's like even when he tried to go in, it was still kind of lame. All right, fine, whatever. It's a flossy kind of whatever Willy Wonka weird song, and they got flavors But I really did not like that. Got flavors. And it's just this weird phonetic. Try saying it a whole bunch. It sounds weird. It feels weird. It's not a good sound to go off on. Offset's verse is whatever. It's not bad. Offset does what Offset does. I want to throw it in because I missed it. I think it's on Marmalade. But you notice Macklemore started doing woo, 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 woo. And then like Offset's on the album. And I'm like, dude, you're trend hopping. This is very strange. So it's not that this music is in and of itself particularly bad or compared to like other versions of it. I'm certain it's objectively better than like another version of this song because there's less auto-tunes and stuff. But like on the real, this is a Macklemore album. And I'm not sure what the hell the point of this song is doing here. I get that it's hype, but like I already feel like he's a sellout and he's whatever. And I don't know if he's called out his haters yet, but he clearly doesn't care what people think anymore. So, like, I was very disappointed. It's a well-produced piece of shit. It's 3 on 5.
All right. Well, I really liked both verses. I don't think Macklemore has changed anything that he said lyrically. He's basically the same stuff he's been saying the last 4 tracks or 3 tracks. Anyway, whatever. On top of that, I like Offset's verse. He does what like Holden said. He does what he usually does. There wasn't any real change, but he was on point. The flow was there. It was nice. I don't really mind the repetition in terms of being a little bit intoxicated. And no, just sober. Yes, I'll give you that. If I'm sober, yes, it's a little annoying. It gets repetitive and it's useless. You could have changed it. But I get the point of this being like a club banger where you're kind of just jamming out, acting, having fun, and you're screaming flavors got flavors and rhyming it with lifesavers. It's, for what the song is, it's pretty dope. It's a banger. I'm not going to deny that. The beat is produced really fucking well. 4 on 5. I'm going to give him that.
All I'm telling you is it revealed that Macklemore has shit intentions.
All my good intentions just ain't good enough.
There's this awesome track on Ludacris's Ludaversal called The Grass Is Always Greener. And it's basically the same thing as this, but it's a lot hyper and a lot more fun. And I highly recommend you check that shit out after you're done watching this review. On that note, Intentions is the first real Macklemore song I think we've come across on this album.
Yeah.
It's not a great one. It's an adequate Macklemore song. What we've encountered is a duplicitous nature of himself. The true first Gemini experience on the album. So when he starts it off strong, like, I want to be sober, but I want to get high, or whatever the line is. And it plays through like that. Like, I want to be faithful, but I want to fuck randos. And, okay, so it's actually kind of honest.
Best of both worlds, but not knowing how to maintain both.
And I was like, oh, you're talking about something interesting. And he actually did it well. And he did that, like, I want to be famous.
Soft,
but I want to follow back, whatever he said, and he did like that over like the acoustic, and honestly I liked it. It's clearly a different kind of pop rap, but like it fit, and it was like a nice change actually, because we're 5 songs into this album. I think we still only get like 2 verses from him. Maybe I don't remember if there was a bridge or not. But really, it's like we're 5 songs into this album, and it's good, but it's not really like ensnaring me. I gave it a 4 because if this came on, I could listen to it. It's got a nice, smooth, soothing kind of feel to it. Right. Dan Caplen really sings very well, and he really doesn't... He blends with the beat because it's kind of music built for him. And Macklemore does it nicely. And I don't know, I guess maybe the refreshing nature. I gave it a 4. But lyrically, as much as it presents a lot of duplicities, it almost goes to, I guess, give you his state of mind right now where he feels like he's 2 people maybe. I don't know.
I like the 2 people idea. I like how he feels like he's going back and forth, having to make decisions on certain things. Very honest, very deep, very soft, and that's what really struck me. I was like, I like how he went and took the very soft guitar strings. It was really nice, very relaxing. I also gave it a 4 on 5. I don't think there was any. I would have given a 5 on 5. I just didn't feel so many more emotions in terms of it, but I think that's the point of it, just because he is like
well, you
smoking,
know, but like so when you are making a song like this, I would rather see some like proper expression of frustration or something.
Definitely I felt like he was just numb the entire song.
I am gonna go like this with my voice about to break. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me.
Fair enough, but 4 on 5 though.
It's like, it's not like the good old days of Macklemore.
Wish I put the bottle back on that shelf. Wish I wouldn't have worried about what other people thought.
So Kesha killed this shit. I'm gonna say I gave this a 4 because of Kesha. It really came in beautifully. She has such a powerful voice. She's like half the song, so it's a lot of good Kesha. And this could have been on Rainbow. It was so powerful in that regard. But then there's Macklemore. And, I mean, this song's okay. He's reminiscing on, like, an easier time in his life, and when he used to get fucked up in the parking lots and hang out with his boys, and how nobody told him back then that those were the best days of his lives, and now it's, like, harder.
I can't get behind that.
You know?
I've been told my entire life,
you know,
to enjoy being a kid, because when you turn 23, you're going to hate yourself.
And even if, like, maybe not a lot of people said that to him, like, his whole career is based on, like, I guess he's trying to capture the moment before he became an addict and, like, ruined his life, per se, as is alluded to by a couple. But I think the second verse, like, he wished he didn't get messed up and whatnot. But, like, honestly, and then you watch the video, and it looks like him and Kesha smashed. And Jay, if you watch this, yeah, you're right. I thought about it, and they were really comfortable. Now, Bonnie was like, no, they're kind of besties, and they're just good buddies. But, like, I guess they were, like, trying to play a relationship role for the video.
That's what I think, but that's what I also got from the song as well. I feel like it's the way that Macklemore was trying to present the song was, like, a relationship, what it was before things started going bad. Like, maybe he was getting famous, and then he started, hooking up with randos and shit like that. And that's, like, he's reminiscing about a relationship. But, like, at the same time,
he's married to the girl that he's been with since 2006, so I don't know.
Honestly, I've been told my entire life to enjoy my younger days, and that's what I was like, I can't get behind this.
And it's like, rapping isn't terrible, but it's more and I got this voice, and we're gonna take it back, and he's got, like, but it's almost like, wait, that's that other Macklemore thing that he does. It's another lukewarm Macklemore song. But Kesha saves it, yo. Kesha killed it. 4 on 5. That's what I'm gonna stick with.
I gave it a 3.5 on 5, just because I don't. Kesha's great, but it's just nothing was solid on this. I couldn't get, every time they brought it up, and every time he just kept reminiscing about different things, I was like, yeah, I I was ready. I accepted it. I don't know. It just didn't vibe well. 3.5.
All right, so the next one is Levitate, something this album has failed to do for my mood.
Let's go.
Now we're back to dancing Macklemore.
And he's fucking girls and picking people up in the club and everything's cocky and arrogant.
I got that, but if you also want to look at it on the other way, he's picking up people to dance and it's all dancing and dancing. And
sure, whatever. I don't know. I mean, it was a fun song in terms of the beat.
It was cute, I'm not going to lie.
The Otieno Terry does a really good job. By the way, 7 songs, 7 features. What? Come on, Macklemore, you're a freaking rapper. And he does a really decent job. He dominates like half the song again. Macklemore's got a smaller presence. The beat's really good. I think this is one of the more fun songs on the album, but it's lyrically kind of lame. I just feel like Macklemore's the old guy in the club trying to boogie down like he's 22, and he's like more like me, and we should, like, I get it, you're a famous guy, but like literally he's like, oh, she just Googled me, and I'm like, oh. Why did she need to Google you, dude? You look so distinct. Like, everybody knows what you look like. And if she had to Google you, she's probably too young for you, bro. I'm just like, for fuck's sake. Like, this was an irrelevant song. It did not need to be on this album. Like, why was this here? I don't understand. Like, I'm confused. Like, we're 7 songs in, and this is just the fluffiest piece of nothing album we've come across.
I feel like there wasn't supposed
to
be any,
pick
like,
a
real
mumble
content.
rapper, and he has more content and soul on their album this year. Pick any one of them, and it's more impressive than what Macklemore's been dropping. Really, I gave this a 3.5 because the beat's hype and the other guy's good, but Macklemore was another freaking disappointment. I don't even know what else I can say. Like, I am... Honestly, at this point in the album, I'm seriously disappointed. I'm like, what the hell happened to this dude?
I just feel that it's a repetition of the last couple of tracks. I think that was made very clear. What is his name?
Terry. Sorry. It is Otieno Terry.
Otieno Terry. My apologies about that. Great voice. I loved how you did the chorus.
He felt funky and fresh.
Yeah, it was there. It was alive. It had the flair, and I felt like it had more flair than Macklemore. And
Macklemore felt like a creeper.
Yeah, that was it.
Like, you just told us about how you're faithful on the next track and how you're struggling with fidelity on the next track, and now you're in the club macking on girls who were... Come on, dude.
It's like back and forth. You can't make up your mind right now, and it's very confusing. But the beat's produced well. The flow is on point. It's catchy to listen to, but it's not really something you're gonna be going back to.
All I'm saying, there's no freaking fire. There's no fire breathers anywhere on this freaking album.
Probably check my eyes. I got 50,000 bones pointed at me in the sky.
Moore's the new Lil Wayne. That's where I'm at now.
Oh my god.
This is just fucking aimless. This is just fucking like...
I like the chorus. Positivity. I like the
when
chorus.
I watch a Lil Wayne interview and Lil Wayne's like, I don't give a fuck about haters. I'm rich. Or whatever he would say. That's what this song is.
Caplen.
Like, fucking Macklemore doesn't care about the haters. Fuck, what is it? I should check my eyes.
There's
the
internet
50,000 cell phones between me and my... Dude, there's a reason you have people who are like, you turned on us is how we feel. You hurt my feelings as a fan. But really, this is just whack. I like the idea of that like kind of rock infused thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... Macklemore is just whack on this track. He just says a bunch of random shit. No, it was just a bunch of random ass shit that he said. It spewed out of his mouth. It's almost like watching his career. It's like what happened to Wayne. The longer he went on, the less relevant his information was, the worse his lines got, and the fluffier his shit was. Honestly, Reignwolf, you are lovely. You are lovely, dear. You did a decent job, enough to give it 2.5. But this is a freaking waste of space on this album.
Are you serious?
It's another freaking song about Macklemore being famous. Dude, fuck the haters.
It's not produced bad.
Didn't he tell us? Okay. Was this the one where he told us stories about meeting famous people? I'm like, I don't care about this shit. You already gave me... This is your 3rd of 8 songs that are almost specifically about the fact that you're famous. Fuck off, Macklemore. Like... I liked it better when you were telling me you were sober all the time, or you were charged or something, or like that song you did about baseball was cool. Like there was some diversity.
I feel like
10,000 Hours is a banger and an anthem.
I feel like there was different topics he was talking about back then, and now he's going with what he feels, and he seems to be in a very great place in terms of trying to make it happy. Hold on. Let's all agree that he's a happier person. That's why it doesn't sound as so dark, negative, and critical as before.
What I'm trying to say is this sounds like a pop fucking pro-written song.
But we can also agree, because, I mean, we can't say that any of this is really that bad.
Yeah,
it's
I can. I am saying this is that bad.
Okay.
Dude, the beat is like whatever. It's not exactly great. It gets annoying. It's grating. His rhymes are fluff. His flow is trash. And, like, what he's saying makes him sound like a pretentious cocksucker. And, like, honestly, I don't really... Like, this song should not have been on this album. This is 16 freaking songs. Fair. If you're going to make the album that long, make it freaking good. This is gimmicky. His gimmick is rock guitars and this guy. Another feature. 8 songs, 8 features. What the hell? This is 2.5 territory. We're not doing very well here, Macklemore.
I gave it a 3.5 on 5. I like the chorus. I like the beat. Even though it's very static, it was very also a change from a little bit of what was going on earlier. But I do agree on the lyrics, and I do agree on the message and where we're at. This is... Where is Just You solo? Where
that's coming.
Right, I know.
But in the meantime, let's learn how to play a flute.
Hustle, watch me move. In the summer, watch me around. I'm about to drop the...
If anyone ever wanted to question whether or not he was biting trends and flows and shit on this, like, mask on, fuck it, mask off. I mean, like, really, this shit was just him trying to be Future. It was really bad. Like, it was really shitty. I mean, what kind of a stupid, lame-ass... Man, like, it's like blow the whistle lame. Play the flute in the car, like... King Draino, I really liked your hook. It was really hype.
Fire.
The beat was super awful. It was like it was like the Chinese knockoff version of Mask Off. Honestly, that's what that was.
Yep.
That flow is like the Future knockoff flow.
It sounds like at this point that he's just like sampling everything that's been played in the last 2 years and just...
I once would have considered Macklemore to be on potential to being a serious trendsetter with the potential and the magnitude of a guy like Kendrick Lamar, privilege aside. Mm-hmm. What the fuck happened?
He got... Dude, Ryan Lewis left, and I feel like all the important messages that were, like, both of them wanted to talk about have just gone.
Nah, because check it. Even his old album had more messages. This is just fucking fluff. This is like Macklemore's trying to sell records and go viral or whatever. This is garbage. This is a 2. This is pure trash. I would have got a 1, but I liked King Draino.
Jeez, I gave it a 3. I didn't think it was
that
bad. I'm not giving it a... I'm not grading his lyrics anymore. The lyrics are the same. You listen to...
This is worse. It took a step down is what I'm trying to say.
I feel like throughout the album, he basically just found multiple ways to say the same shit. I don't think he really ever...
This song literally has him banging some chick in the car that he pulled up on and, like, other such crap. And it's like... Bro, you said nothing useful. Nothing useful, really, on this track. You kind of had... We're on the 9th one now, right? And I feel like I need to count it because it's another feature in a row. 9 for 9. And the only song so far that I think is even quasi-good is, like, Intention. Everything else... And Good Old Days, kind of, but it's mostly I like Kesha. I'm like, that's... Man. And then this pretend attempt at, like, a modern trap song, but without the auto-tune because you're...
Well, not even an attempt. He copied someone else's track.
I know, because, like, I would say the flows are different.
Flow is different, but it does sound like Mask Off. So kind of just, like... It doesn't seem like he's got anything new to really show right now. He's just trying to stay relevant with what's being cool. And instead of actually doing Macklemore and being who you are, you're just trend hopping and doing whatever it is everyone else wants you to do.
I don't know. All I'm saying is...
You're selling out again.
And if you keep up like this, ain't no way you're going to repeat that 10 million.
Optimize and monopolize, yeah. We turn out the light.
why does the Macklemore solo song have the woo 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 Quavo
It has
offset
their flow,
woo,
and it has like. I feel like I heard Drake on this. I feel like I heard Migos. I feel like I heard Denzel Curry on this.
All he was saying is he sold 10 million albums. Look at me, I'm cool.
Just the flows sounded so similar, and I was like, this isn't cool anymore. Your 10 million is not worth anything.
Like when you wrote 10,000 hours, it was a sick track because you were saying you were putting the work in to get your grind and your shine. Now that you sold all these records, you know what I didn't like about Tech Nine? Is when he finally made it and he whined about how rich he finally was and Forbes list this and that. You're not one of these guys. But like your music doesn't even sound that good. So you wrote a sellout pop bad rap song trying to be like guys who you don't even sound like, who you can't even pull off the style on, about how you sold records. You are lame. This is lame. This is just corny. This is not a pleasurable listening experience. I gave it another 2. I'm gonna say the beat is kind of hype and it's well produced. I want to give some love to the fact that it's not trash, but as far as I'm concerned, this is a bullshit song. And honestly, you don't have to listen to this album, people. Like if you haven't already heard it, it's not there for it. Maybe if you disagree with me, I'd love to hear your thoughts on why this album is good. But like when you really compare it to The Heist, does this album compare? You know?
I'm done saving the album, dude. I'm trying to find at least some sort of positivity in terms of the songs. They don't sound bad. It's not like you play this and you want to turn it off.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Maybe you. I wouldn't. I wouldn't really want to turn it off, but I wouldn't want to sit and listen to a whole thing anymore. At this point, you made records, you sold money. Well, you made money, you sold records. Fine. What else do you have to say? There's nothing sustaining. There's nothing substantial there. There's nothing, no context, no message, no beef, dude. It's all just fucking.
It's almost like he needs the features. I'm like, look, I just don't understand how a guy with such prolific vision. Was it really all Ryan Lewis? Is that really what we're seeing here? This is not how you keep selling records.
But you know what's funny? I didn't even get, like, I remember when he was working with Ryan Lewis, I never really heard a lot of Ryan Lewis.
That's because he's the producer.
I know he like sang sometimes and did that.
No, he didn't really sing. He just did all the beats and got other features and made smarter choices and probably was involved in the songwriting and the creative direction of the group. But I feel like it's more Macklemore, after he got stinged and slapped by the industry for not understanding the plight of the black person, has decided that he's no longer going to make music that's challenging and instead he's going to make some safe. You know what? I bet my mom really likes this album if she heard it so far because it's pretty much a safe version of hard music.
Yep. I gave this a 3 on 5.
2. It's a despicable excuse of wasting my freaking time. Anyway, once we're done the review, I'll finally be over it.
Can't get in the game because I change a code.
How I hear Kanye. The first, the first 30 seconds of the song, I hear Kanye.
His auto-tuning stuff.
It's just...
I like this one a lot.
But it's...
This is a really good song. It took 11 songs for me to this song's hype.
It's real. It's honest.
It's like approaching a broken relationship and how you're dealing with it, which is an easy topic for a broken person to cover. And I feel like there's a high level of honesty. Donna comes in and sings excellently back at him. Yep. The beat really has this almost ethereal kind of feel to it, and you get lost into it. It's almost like a dreamlike state as you're moving through it. There's actual soul here. He's trying. I'm like, whoa, out of nowhere we got this beautiful, really beautiful song that really it's, you know what it really made me think of?
What?
Something like Spacebound by Eminem, or Love the Way You Lie by Eminem, or any one of Eminem's songs about tragic relationships, or any one of the MGK songs about relationships. And I'm not trying to say that he's doing it like they did it, but it kind of made me feel like that, kind of vibe. And then having a bit more of the softer Macklemore touch. But when you're doing this kind of broken love song, being a soft rapper is okay, because you can be soft and sappy and stuff, and it works. and the honesty of the cheating and the fighting and the broken cycles and stuff. I really felt it. I'm sorry, like, finally there's some hype here. I can finally be like, yeah, Macklemore, you done something.
This was really cool and really honest. I like the intensity and the rawness behind it. He really depicted the relationship, whether it's his or just a story about it. It's really there. You can see the anger, you can see the pain, and you can hear it and feel it. It's a lot to take in. But to tell you the truth, I needed more of this earlier. Just because by this point, I like this. It was produced well. It was great. But by this point, I was kind of lacking on Macklemore, and I was like, this doesn't hold up. Like,
well, I gave it a 4.5. This is a freaking banger.
I gave it a 4.
I didn't plus it yet on Spotify, but I'm going to, because I actually could see myself listening to this again.
Like,
this is pretty cool.
It's not a bad song.
It's a great song.
It's a fantastic song. Just
yeah, the album sucks.
I know. I just feel like
the song's worth it. There's nothing we can even say about placement. There's just a lot of bad songs on this album.
Fair enough.
But this one is good, and it should get its love. Okay.
4 on 5 though.
It's like when you go shopping at Zara. It's pretty freaking awesome.
The family and jump in if there's a problem. But not today. The ocean wave.
I guess Rihanna said no. Didn't want to come on this one with him. Couldn't get her.
I don't.
I know she was good though. The Abir or whoever is the singer. I'm not trying to take shots. She was actually super talented. It was just such a Rihanna vibe. And then his verses was like, yo, I want to be like your sugar daddy. And she's like, yo, listen, you don't even have to have money. I want to go to the cheap store.
But
he's
you know
like,
what?
Hells yeah. She's like, fucking right.
I felt like
and then,
this was a little bit of a follow-up from the last track, just in terms of like the whole fucked up relationship part. And then now it's like, this is the one I'm in love with, and this is the one I need. And I got that, but I didn't feel like this was as strong.
This is just a freaking fluffy ass track. Like,
really?
It's like, look, it's the equivalent of like Migos writing a Down to Ride song. It's like, he's down to ride until he sees the next girl, and then he's no longer down to ride. And if there's a badder and bougier girl, he's gonna go for that one. And that's the kind of feeling you get. Like, yeah, Macklemore, you just met this girl, you wanted to spend money on you, now you're down to ride. It's like, okay, you are now the generic rapper in this category too. You just wrote the good song. Why? Look, it's all right. It's better produced than a lot of the earlier half of this CD. I gave this a 3.5 because it's a little better than boring. It is something I could vibe to in the right mood, but that mood is rare, and there's a lot of better versions of this song that exist. And I'm still a little bit on the bamboozled side. Like, why is he copying so many flows and styles? Like, is Gemini just supposed to be Macklemore tries pop rap of 2017 all at once? Because that's really what I feel like we're getting here. Like, every song seems to be its own unique copying of some other famous person's flows. And here was the Rihanna and, let's say, Drake freaking song.
There we go. I thought this was okay. I didn't think it was as strong as the last one, just in terms of, like, the last one was about again, I think album placement is something we do need to touch up on a lot of the time.
But not on this album. There's no placement. It's just bullshit. There's no story. There's no...
Fair. I'll give you that. But when you make a song about a really messed up relationship, and then you have this where you talk about, this is the one I like, and I felt just like he's trying to define that this crazy up and down is the relationship I want. But I didn't feel it was as strong and emotional as the last one. So I was like, this doesn't follow up well in terms of
maybe
how I feel with the album.
But like the rest of the album doesn't follow up with that song.
Yeah, I know. I thought maybe I had a little bit of hope that maybe it would change and be a little bit better.
Well, I mean, it's better than it's freaking better than How to Play the Flute. It's just disappointing, all right? Like, Macklemore was supposed to be different. Bonnie compared it to like Simon and Garfunkel, how Paul Simon was nothing without Garfunkel. Is that really the case? Is Macklemore really nothing without his Ryan Lewis? Well, guess what? We'll find out how he used to party at the corner store.
Got some mango high, choose a bag of chips, rolling through the city.
So this time we got the guy who sounds like Chance the Rapper back when he was bombing around with Childish Gambino. He was hyped though. So yeah, we had two features here, Dave B and Travis Thompson. Both of those dudes were excellent. Macklemore, what the fuck is this song?
Okay, so this is what I got from this, all right? he basically wanted to have this nostalgic feeling about how he used to chill in the corner store.
Get ripped, get bombed around on old Milwaukee.
I feel like he's basically trying to just validate
how
where
he
comes
gets
from.
high sometimes. Like, I mean, here's the thing. On all your previous albums, you have stuff like Starting Over, where like you're dealing with addictions, and this one is like, back in the day, I used to get messed up and high with the boys, riding around the car, getting munchies.
But you know what really twisted me? Was the fact that I felt like, now I don't think that the two other artists were kids, but they gave me this like sound.
No, they're young guys, up and comers.
Okay, so they sound younger, and I felt like Macklemore got two kids from his area and went, we're gonna rap about how we used to chill at the corner store, but the two rappers still chill there. Like, they actually live it, and the way they rap and the way they
like they're bombing around it.
They're still doing it today. Like, that's what they're doing as of right now, right?
And then Macklemore is just kind of
like... It's all nostalgia.
Yeah, I have to be the sober guy dad type now. Back in the good old days, I used to do this stuff. So Corner Stores is the companion piece to the Good Old Days song. I was surprised. I mean, yeah, it's cool to admit that you used to do this stuff. And he does frame it in a way where it's the past, whereas the other guys do frame it in a way where it's like the present. And I just felt this song was completely unnecessary for the sake of it being Macklemore. But at the same time, it was kind of hype. Like, that chorus is fly. And, like, the verses from the features are actually really good. They brought some really great life into the album. That beat is fun and funky. And as much as whatever it is, it kind of sounds like they're having a good time and you want to go hang out with them. You want to go to their corner store. I want to go hit up the dépanneur, as we call them in Montreal, and do, like, you know, like, it really, like, it brings you back to another time in life. And I really appreciated how well this song was, but it just seemed like a really strange choice, again, for a guy like Macklemore, who built up an entire career doing this one styled thing, to drop a track like this. It's a serious bait and switch, and I had a lot of trouble getting past that, but still, 4 on 5, because Macklemore was kind of lame, but the rest of the song was hype.
Nice. I gave this a 3.5 on 5. I felt like it was produced well. The other two artists were great, but I didn't really like how it was... like I said, these two other artists are... the way they presented it sounds like they're still doing it, and it sounds more authentic. Macklemore just kind of feels like he's talking about his past, and I'm like... Right, but there's so much other you can do with this.
Yeah, complete waste.
I don't feel like at this point Macklemore even cares, like we agreed, but I feel that he's trying to do something. And if he is trying to transition to a different, category or genre of music, you're doing it, but you're not doing it well.
It's not that he's not doing it well, it's that he went from being almost like a trendsetter of sorts. It's kind of like The Simpsons. It went from influencing culture and being like a central pivotal point of it to being something that just kind of reflects culture. So it's not necessarily bad. Well, I'm saying Macklemore is way worse than The Simpsons, not to even compare the two. But Macklemore has really just done a lot to conform into a lot of other people's styles, and that's kind of sad to me because he used to kind of have some flow. And a couple of lines on this album make it sound like they can't put me in a box. They can't even label me. They can't. We've spent this whole freaking podcast calling out the flows you're stealing, dude. Anyway, it's going to take a miracle for this new transition to sell another 10 milli.
With the dark sky, bottling up, falling.
I've heard this.
Yeah, it does sound like he's ripped off some more flows of some rock guys this time.
Yeah. It's soft, smooth.
5 on 5. I shit you not. This song sounded so good to me. I might change my mind. This might just be like an Oasis moment on this desert of awful. But for real, the song was real as fuck about how he's coping with stress, how he's like handling some stuff. Dan there, he sings so well over that guitaring stuff. The beat's so calm and like really well made, like really well put together. Macklemore fits it as well as he did the last time I was raving like this, and him in the combination of unique flow, subject matter, unique enough. Granted, he did rip it off as something I couldn't put my finger on, like I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but I have a bunch of ideas of what it could be, and like. Sure, but really, this was a really well-made song. There's almost no flaws in it. I could listen to this in multiple places, and it's got like an energy to it, like there's almost darkness to its upbeatness, and this is kind of what I wanted out of a Macklemore album, like a lot more like this. I mean, sure, we've got 16 songs and 15 features or whatever, and it's crazy, but this was still worth it. I wish there was just more of this, is what I'm trying to say. I give this a 5. It's more like sonically really well made. He is still... Well, he's not even that fluffy here. He has some real shit to say. Like, he knows he's got problems and things. And I was like, wow, some humanity. Some real Macklemore showing up on this freaking album. Anyway.
Nice. I give it a 4 on 5. I thought it was sound really nice, really smooth. Gave me this type of bluesy, jazzy feel. Slightly, not much. But there's this sense, and you said it, sense of darkness to it that brings some, and you know what, the darkness sense to it brings some sort of light to your day.
Okay.
In terms of hearing the song, in terms of understanding it, and he's got some type of power to want to continue, want to make it through the struggle, the stress, the pain, the anger.
Okay.
But I don't think it was really a perfect song for me, just in terms of it took you this long. Like, I had to wait.
Again, I think it's part of why I like it so much. It's not like, when you got to consider it, just because you like the 15 song, yeah, sure, it took him 15 songs to come up with one you like.
No,
but that shouldn't impact the grade of the song.
It's not that it impacts the grade of the song. It does impact the grade of the song for me, only because of the fact that it's like you kind of didn't. There's no transition between the songs. There's no actual.
That's
connection.
a criticism of the album. But like if the song came on, just like that, and
I still wouldn't think it's a 5. Only
I know, but like when we're talking like to judge the song based on where it's placed on the album entirely like that, it's like, yeah, but if you had like Grab the Bag or Major Bag Alert or any one of the other Bag songs, and then this came on, it would be a weird placement if it was on random.
Right.
That doesn't make it a less, better, or good song.
Right.
And considering how, like, look, this isn't the kind of album where like any effort was put into placement. It's a freaking weird album of random assortments. Like, he just threw whatever he had in the lab onto a disc. This one happened to be really good, you know?
Fair enough. But I do like the way it was produced. I like how he goes between the soft tone and the slower verses, and then kind of takes it up a little bit, but doesn't go too intense. He's very controlled on this. But you know what, I wouldn't go back to it. So 4 on 5.
All right. The next up is The Church.
In a verse. So dear spirit, I know I gotta take.
I mean, we asked for new subject matter. We got music is a salvation.
I got God is a salvation.
God, music. He kind of mentions he's not really religious. He's kind of using God as like a higher power or something. It's more like church, not some, like, I felt like it was a disjointed God love song.
Yeah.
Where honestly, it was different. I'll give it to him. He presented some novel stimuli. But it was back onto that, like, fluffy, feel-good, safe shit. And, like, he was appreciative and is humble. And I don't actually have a big beef with this song. It is just that it's also not particularly great. Xperience sings very well, but isn't particularly great. And ultimately, you go through the whole thing, and I'm left with, man, I didn't need to hear this. Like,
There's times that it feels like it falls off and it loses that intensity of what he tried to bring to it. I got this, like, okay, you're good here, and then you kind of dribble down, and then you come back up, and then you're like, okay, I get you now, and then you dribble down again. And the inconsistency in the song is very, very confusing to pay attention to. And it doesn't sound good, to tell you the truth. It doesn't sound well to hear all over the place.
Fair enough. I look at it like, at the end of the day, it's just a simple, feel-good, fluffy song. I don't know what else to say at this point. I was disappointed when I got to this one, and I gave it a 3.5 because it's a little better than boring. There is a little more effort put in. It isn't the complete level of aimlessness we've seen on some of the other ones. It follows through. It's whatever. It's clearly like it's some shit my mom's gonna listen to. I'm just sad that Macklemore's chosen to indulge this so much. I wanted to see some harsher shit. I'm not getting it. Anyway, that's all I got on this one.
I gave it a 3.5 on 5 as well. It could have been great. I don't really know how at the moment. I don't
think that song could have been great.
I think that if you know what, hold on. I think
Macklemore doesn't have real enough opinions to make a song called Church being about this type of shit great. He has no real opinions on this album.
Fair.
That's why most of the songs aren't great, except for the one about hopelessness. Anyway, Excavate is the last one. Excavate.
Check won't correct yours. Excavate.
I like this.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Oh my god.
It's like the same song that we just talked about, but like kind of different. Like this again. You know what? It's like the difference between the first two songs. The first one was more about the live show. The second one was more about the legacy. And this couplet, the first one is a little more about music is his salvation. This one's about his fucking legacy. And I'm like, it's soft on the fluffier side. He's not really going in. He's not really going hard. He's just.
I don't think it's just about his legacy. I think there's also I think he's trying to be honest, where he's like, because he also mentions that he's an open book and that you can. Is this the one where he has
like his daughter and he praises her at the end, like that's a sense of accomplishments or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Sure. His life and his legacy is his daughter instead of music.
You know what? Like, you know what? Unfortunately, like that's also something I've heard a bunch of times from like a bunch of other.
Look, it's just, man, this is your album closer, and it's so like. You didn't even sum up the previous things that you've said on this album. You kind of just said them again. And the beat isn't particularly enthralling. It's not like this takes you up. I mean, we were already here on the last track, and you just moved us here, like just the same place. You just moved us over, and you rewrote the same. Like, this didn't need, like, this is 16 songs, and there's at least 3 or 4 of them that could have been easily cut away. And the content on the album wouldn't have changed at all. And honestly, this is the last one. Do you feel... I feel underwhelmed. I don't feel excited.
I don't feel like I want to listen to this right away. A lot of albums that we've done, I felt like right after I finished it, I want to do it again. I want to listen to it and get into it and understand it. Like dissecting this... Rewatch this video. You've dissected it twice. There you go.
3 on 5. It's not... it's boring.
3 out of 5.
Anyway, I don't care if you guys are mad at us. I have nothing more for this. Look, Macklemore Gemini for me as an album was a piece of crap, and I say that because Macklemore is the type of artist that is fucking Grammy winning. The guy is top tier talent of a lyrical storytelling phenomenal way, and he wrote this fluff ass 16 track ensemble of crap. It's 3.37 or something like that on 5. Like It really is one of the worst albums we reviewed. I'm so, and perhaps it's my disappointment that's involved in my grading of this, but I have a high expectation for the talent level that Macklemore brings, for the vocabulary he has, and to see him just copy the industry the way that he did is an extremely disappointing sellout bullshit money grab move. And I'm really like, I might not even want to touch the next Macklemore project. I don't even really want to touch this. I don't even want to touch the next one. That's what I'm left with.
I can't top that. Look, realistically, the album sounds good. It's not badly produced. You will find some certain sounds. Maybe if you want to sample it or do something with it, you'll find some good sounds. You'll find some good flows, some good vibes. But you're not listening to this album to find yourself. You're not listening to this album to get creative. You're not listening to this album
I don't even know what you are listening to this album
You're
for.
listening to this album because you have 16 songs. You have an hour. My apologies. You're listening to this album because you have an hour to kill and you have to clean the house.
Even then, put on DJ Khaled's album. It'll do better. It has better names. Like, this is trash. This is like a bootleg DJ Khaled album.
You know what? This is the album that will be played when, like, mom is driving the car and everyone's asleep.
Bootleg DJ Khaled album. I'm going to call it that. That's what it is. Look, fuck this album. I'm really unhappy with it.
I gave this album a 3.8.
Fuck your grade.
Fuck your grade.
My grade is solid. Anyway, It's just trash. You basically said it's nearly a classic. There's no way this is nearly a classic. Fuck your grade. Normally I'm letting you have your grade, but Macklemore does not deserve to be that close to a classic.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. It landed at a 3.8. I like, what I do want to defend this album on is that there is some catchy beats. I do like the trap songs. I do like the trap flows.
It's Macklemore.
But Macklemore alone, go reunite with Ryan Lewis.
Screw that shit. We really appreciate you watching. If you really like this album, I'm so sorry to offend you, and I'm sure tonight I'm gonna get a comment or two telling me I don't understand it or blah blah blah. That's okay. If you do like the video, though, hit the like button. Feel free to have that discussion with us. I'm happy to go into it on why this is good or bad with y'all. You can follow us on the Twitters and stuff and whatnot, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. So take care. Peace and love. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper.
Bye.